What is good, guys? Today's video is going to be kind of simple. We're going to be replacing the steering wheel on my R34 Skyline. The main reason for that is because you may have seen in some of my videos, but the wheel is, it's worn for wear. The Australian sun, when it heats this up, it just tends to bubble and get brittle, and it starts to peel off like this, as you can see here, and a little bit of wear there from like my hand being there all the time, and it just sucks, right? Now, because mine is a 1998 GTT, I got mine without the buttons on the steering wheel and stuff like that, so it's a little bit easier for me to swap the steering wheel. And a lot of you guys are probably like, well, why don't you just swap to an aftermarket wheel like a NRG or D&D or, you know, Sparco or something like that? And the answer is unfortunately here in Australia, they have some really crappy laws that state that if you have an airbag and things like that, you can't replace the wheel with something that doesn't have an airbag or padding in the center. So pretty much, Gnarly Classics are a no-go and stuff like that. You need to get a special padded wheel, and if your car had an airbag, you can't replace that at all. It's a nightmare. Anyway, so that led me to do a whole bunch of research in Japan to find a replacement factory option wheel for this, because I didn't want to just go and get the normal Skyline one. I wanted something kind of cool and JDM, right? And that's what led me to these things. Now, these things are a bit dusty and need a bit of a clean because they've been sitting at the workshop for so long waiting for me to do something with them. But these two wheels, I'm going to take parts from both and make one good wheel. This one's got a lot of wear up here. This one's got like hardly wear up here, but a little bit of wear on this part. So I'm probably going to use this wheel, but then I'm going to use this center casing without this center and switch this center to this one, and you'll see what we're going to do. But this is the wheel that we're going to use, and this is a factory MOMO option wheel that came out when I guess like the Skyline was really popular, around when the Subarus and all that. Like, so there were a lot of MOMO factory option upgraded wheels that were sold to a lot of Japanese cars back in the days. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of them or seen them because yeah, they're on Subarus, they're in Mitsubishis, they're in a lot of Nissans, especially like the Sylvia Type X's. It was very popular for a lot of guys to get this type of wheel. And this one is one for the Skyline. So I'm going to be putting one of these on today, removing the old one. We're going to go through the process because it is not just as simple as unbolting a wheel. And the first difficulty you're going to have are these special torque bolts here. You can't just use like a normal torque thing because in the center there's a little thing there. I'm not entirely sure what the name of these things are, but it has to be a fitting that's not only like a torque star but also has a hole in the middle so that it can slot in there and you can undo it. But before we can do any of that, we have to disconnect the battery so that the airbag, nothing goes wrong there and it doesn't blow up in your face. So anyways, first things first, we're going to pop the hood, and what we're going to do is disconnect the battery. And then once I've disconnected the battery, I'm going to turn the key on as if I'm trying to start the car in ignition, to then get the car to drain any voltage whatsoever that's stored in any capacitors, electronic computers and things like that, just so I know 100% that the airbag computer has no voltage in it. All right, so I got the old wheel off. I must be the luckiest man alive because I just pulled that off with my hands. I didn't have to use a puller or anything like that. So thank you to whoever previously put this wheel on at the Nissan factory and actually used anti-seize on this shaft, because that just helped me out a lot from a bad time. So now what I'm going to do is throw you guys back in the time lapse while I kind of like shuffle the parts around from these two wheels to get the best one, and then we'll put her on. Alright, so I've got the MOMO wheel mounted, and what I had to do was change a whole bunch of stuff from the internals of this to this particular wheel, from the other MOMO wheel, because this MOMO wheel had all of this stuff which is meant for an S15 Sylvia. So it has like this different module here for the airbag. This plugs into the airbag, and that's like your horn, and it only goes through one plug off the steering column. But in the Skyline, you have 2 plugs. You have one individual plug for the airbag, and then you have this other plug here for the horn. So one of these was for a Skyline, one of these for an S15. The wheel is identical, the only difference is the internals. So what I did was I took the ones for the Skyline parts in here, which is just this plastic piece in here with this plug and these 2 side things and the counterweight and stuff, well, the rubber that kind of stops vibration. That's like a pretty important thing up there. So I moved all of that over from that wheel into this wheel. So it's ready for the Skyline now. The only thing I have to do now is get bolts for this part here, because the 2 bolts that go in through the side are actually different than the factory ones that came with the other normal Skyline wheel that's on there. These bolts are way too small. They do not fit at all. Like, look at that, just woo! So we're gonna go to Bunnings right now because they're still open and get some bolts that fit this. I'm gonna go walk into Bunnings with this and see if we can match up a bolt with it, and should be fun. May's gonna get her first Bunnings experience. You excited?
Bunnings before.
Okay, well, I feel terrible now. All right, let's go to Bunnings. All right, so we're in the Bunnings car park right now and got ourselves a little baggy thing of bolts. For some reason though, this Bunnings didn't have any like testers there or anything like that for testing what thread pitch and bolt size you needed. So I kind of like just spent a whole bunch of time looking at this and comparing the packet of bolts to try and make sure it worked. But as you can see, threads in there, quite nice. It's awkward holding this up and talking to you guys at the same time. So anyways, we're gonna now head back home and put the wheel together for tonight's shenanigans. All right, so I'm back now. Now that we've got the correct bolts and everything we need, let's get this airbag module bolted in here and throw you guys on the time lapse. Okay, so we've got the Momo wheel on now, and what I'm going to do is connect the battery. This is kind of a little bit of a like moment of truth, because if I connect this and the airbag isn't compatible and it pops and explodes, well, that's going to suck. So put that terminal on there. Nothing's happened yet. Let's see if the horn works. Horn works. Now let's see what happens when we turn the ignition on and if we get a airbag light. Turn the wipers off. Waiting for all the lights. Oh, airbag light just disappeared. So we're all good. Sweet as. Now I do want to kind of polish this center a bit more to get like some of this old paint off, because the old grey paint on these, it comes off very easy. Like as you can see there, like it's just all coming off with my nail. And what you do is you just get all the paint off and then you polish it, and you get this polished kind of like alloy center thing around the Momo logo, and it looks really good. So I'm going to work on that in the next few days, but for now the wheel is on. It's solid, it looks cool. I mean, like looking at it now, I'm kind of a bit like, you know, we'll see if it grows on me. If it doesn't grow on me, I'll just yellow it and put like an NRG wheel on and hub and everything, and just, you know, whatever, stuff the Oz government, right? So anyways, I'm going to tighten this terminal, get it all back the way it was, take it for maybe a quick test drive, and we'll see what the wheel feels like. All right, so I've just kind of taken the car for a bit of a test drive, and this wheel has made a huge difference. Steering feels a lot lighter now. Before, when I had the other wheel on, for some reason it made the steering feel heavier. So now I think because maybe the wheel's lighter or something, it just feels like it's so much easier to turn and use the wheel. So I'm actually really happy about that, because it means I'm not going to have probably such a hard time skidding this thing at Drift Matsuri. So I'm actually really happy about that. Wow, huge difference. I can't believe that this wheel, because it's lighter than the other ones, actually made it feel like a lighter kind of wheel to turn. So anyways, really happy with that. And with that, guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. I know it wasn't super long and there wasn't a whole bunch of stuff happening, But today has actually been my mum's 60th birthday, so this was kind of like all I had time to do car-wise, and I figured I'd make a video out of it because I'm really trying to do the daily train, as you guys know. But still, I'm really happy with the result. I have like a genuine kind of JDM MOMO factory option wheel now on the car, which is super cool. And I still can't get over just how much this wheel has changed the feeling of steering the car. Like, that's ridiculous. Just the lighter wheel with a different kind of counterweight up in there has made this thing feel a lot lighter to steer. So that's kind of cool. But anyways, yeah, I still hope you guys learned something. I'm glad the airbag didn't explode in my face on that drive, and we don't have any airbag codes or errors as well. That's very lucky. But yeah, once again, I'm sorry if this video wasn't super long. I hope you still enjoyed it. Found it educational, like kind of entertaining / educational at the same time. I'm not sure if that's an actual word. But yeah, guys, thanks heaps for watching once again. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit up all my social media down in the description. And if you haven't joined the Discord yet, join it, because I'm loving seeing all you car enthusiasts in there talking about cars, drifting, and all the favorite spots where you like to go meet and things like that, and just sharing your mods and things like that amongst one another. It's actually really good to see a community like that of you guys just all talking and stuff. And you also get updates and stuff on what I'm up to before the videos come out as well, so that's good. But anyways, yeah, I'm rambling on again as usual. I'll catch you on the next one, guys. Ciao, mata.